Mr. Brian, what's up, man?
I'm here. What's up?
I'm also here.
All
How's
right,
things
good,
going?
good. All right, not bad. Getting it done today.
Yeah? Having sales
Yep.
calls recently?
No,
What's going on?
it's the top of my funnel is broke.
Top of your funnel is broke. You're just not attracting the right people.
Not getting leads. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Well, it's tough to solve a marketing problem with sales advice,
yeah,
but
I know.
what about all the people that you spoke to that were good fits? Have you hit them up recently and tried to follow up?
I think all the people that I spoke to that were good fits are signed up. So, a
Okay.
couple
Can
that I've
you
lost
re-sign
recently.
them?
What's that?
Can you re-sign them? What's up,
They're
Emma?
still doing it. They're still on my program.
Hmm. Gotcha.
I don't have a lot of drop off once people get in.
Damn.
Yeah.
How's things going on in your world, Emma?
Really good. Super, super good. I think it's my, I'm sorry, the lighting's not so great. We're literally
Ah, it's
moving
fine.
tomorrow. But good. Things are going well. I think this is one of my last calls on this current round, and then I'm joining back in February for leverage for the second.
Cool. So
Yeah.
you're moving or something?
Yeah, we're moving to Cape Town over this, well, Dubai, then Cape Town. And
Okay.
we officially got the launch going with SEM, which is amazing. And the reason I kind of hopped on here was just to get some tidbits because the second launch in February will be opening up soon. And yeah, sales are going, it's good. I think it's just always nice being in your energy because it like refreshes me.
Sure. Yeah, a little refreshing sales energy never hurt. I started selling a dating offer, not last week, but the week before that. First time I sold a dating in my life, but I'm like, man, I should have been selling this the whole time. It's so easy to sell. It's like the easiest thing to sell. We got two painfuls the first week, 8K each. I was like, this is gonna be the best, but their marketing sucks. And I haven't had any. I had one call last week and he's broke. This week, one call and only, and he's like canceled at the last minute. So I'm like, God damn it.
Do you think it's marketing? I'm like, that's one thing I'm super curious about. Like, regarding my ad and then turnover of sale because definitely people who are like yes will pay in full or pay straight up, but I do think it's to do with marketing, some of the sales part, like because sales calls for me go really well. Every girl's 10 out of 10, like every time. It's just finances can be
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing, one thing these guys do really well, um, they like they do a lot of disqualification. So they make them watch like a demo video. And it's like, hey, like if you're not making six figures, like this isn't for you. And then it's like they even like pre-seed the program is typically 23K for the mastermind or something like that. So if people are going to show up to the call after going through all this like heavy disqualification, like they're pretty much like, yeah, I'm in. Like, so it's mostly about not messing it up. But she doesn't run ads, it's all organic. So I do think it's the marketing's everything. Like my friend is selling for this company. They're doing like $1 million a month, but they teach people how to become TEDx speakers. But he's like half the calls, not even half the calls. He's like every single person I talk to is like living in a car. So I'm like, okay, well, like we need to like actually go again. You can't fix a sales. You can't fix a marketing problem with sales. It's very, very hard, right? Like if
right.
nobody has money, that's a marketing issue. It's not, you're not going to like, it doesn't make sense to get really good at selling people that are broke. Like it's easier
Right.
to just find people with money.
Yeah. Question, how and what would you say is the best way to find people with money? I mean, just like curious, do you think it's certain wording that should be used?
Well, it's like what do problems that people typically have, like because there's like just to just keep it with like within a dating context, it's like, well, what are problems that people with money have compared to like broke people, right?
Mm,
So if I was a dating coach targeting men, I wouldn't be like, hey, here's how to meet a girl, because that's a problem that anyone has. But it's like, hey, here's how to like how to tell if your girlfriend how to tell if your girl is like a gold digger. Like the only people that are going to care about that are people with money.
right.
right? So it's like, how do like you probably want people, if they're going to invest like 4 or 5K, obviously they can't be living out of their car. They have to have a job, usually something where they're making at least 50K a year, if not more, like a 6-figure. What are like, what are people that have 6-figure jobs? What are their problems compared to like anyone, right?
Right. Got it. Super good tip. Thank you for that. I also recently discovered ChatGPT or whatever it is, however you say it. I know everyone's been on it for ages, but I was like, wow, this is great. But it's
Yeah, yeah.
really good if you put like ideas into it and then you just craft your stuff through it, and it's like, oh, makes
Yeah, you
sense.
go and chat GPT. There's one called, like, you can Google it. It's like Chat GPT Playground. I think it costs like $20, but it'll give you better answers. So you can go in there and be like, okay, my audience is like women that are professionals that are like, from age X to Y, who have these types of problems. What are like 20 things that a person like this, what are 20 like emotional problems that she has around this area that she wouldn't even want to admit to herself, that are keeping her up at night? And it's like, spit out 20 answers, and like, okay, can you make these more emotional? And like spit out 20 more answers. And then your content is just like talking to those pain points. And you could probably listen, like, okay, how would somebody, with somebody who had money to invest in a service like this, what types of problems would they have versus somebody who's completely broke? And so the biggest one for you is like, hey, well, like, how do you unleash your feminine energy when you are working in like a very corporate environment surrounded by masculine people, and you're forced to become masculine for your career. If you're like in corporate America or something like that. I don't know.
Right. That's
You're
super
an
good.
entrepreneurial woman, like if you're an entrepreneurial woman who's like forced to become masculine, how do you like break out of that shell and unleash your feminine energy without sacrificing without degrading your career or something like that, or your business?
Yeah, super good. I love that. It just gives my brain such like creative prompts as well to like go play with and market. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm
Yeah,
trying to think. Has been anything else on salesy stuff that's been like, I mean, the script is really good that we went through and I've kind of created over the last few months.
yeah,
I don't, I didn't have too many questions. I just like being around you because whenever I'm around you, I tend to make more money. It's your energy.
yeah. It is. So one thing, like my sales approach to these dating calls has been a bit different, and because it is a more expensive program, like most dating coaches don't charge 10K plus, right? They're usually four, somewhere between 3 to 4, maybe 5. So like I get them to justify to me um, why it's worth it for them to invest in this area, right? It's like, hey, like, we're not cheap, right? Like, there's cheaper dating coaches out there. So if you were to invest in this area, like, why would you do it? What would make it worth it for you? And I think downstream in the call, you could probably say something like, hey, like, how much money have you set aside to invest to fix this part of your life? And if they're like, oh, like $20, and they're like, okay, well, like, is this like a $20 problem for you, that you're like super overweight, or that you're like your dating life sucks because of this? Like, no. Well, like, okay, if you could get, like, if you ask them, like, what's your end goal here, and they're like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I'm like, I mean, if you could get that, like, would that be worth investing into? Yeah. Like, if would that be worth like 20K over the rest of your life? Yeah. Is your program 20K? No. I'm just saying, like, we got to think in terms of like the results here, right? Because I can't help you if you're like, this is only a $20 problem.
Wow. But also just such good questions to ask someone. Like it's such like that's such a good additional question. Like, why do you think this would be worth it for you? Would you like
Yeah.
why would you think it's worth it to invest into yourself? Would it be worth 20K to resolve, all of the fucking heartbreak or the divorce costs
Yeah.
or whatever it is?
I mean,
Super
it's insane. Like a divorce. Yeah. That's a perfect thing. It's like, in terms of like a cost of an action. I mean, what's going to happen? Like, especially if they've been divorced already. It's like, what's going to happen if you get into another relationship? And because you never really like fix the core patterns which attracted this bad relationship, you go through that again. Like, oh, that would be horrible. Right. Well, like, how much longer do you want to keep having this problem of attracting the same type of people because, you know, we just haven't fixed the core issue here. Like, I don't want to go through this any longer. So, okay, great.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, it's all good. It's a quiet call today, and I got a haircut, and I was like, oh, people are gonna be all like, cool haircut, Ben. But
Your
no one
hair looks
came.
great, and your beard as
Thank you,
well.
Emma.
I did think that when I came in, I was like, wow, he's really survived there. Okay.
I cut my hair today too, for the record.
Brian's like, my hair
And I-
too. Oh, Vanessa messaged me.
Stuff.
Can you let me in Zoom? I don't see you in the waiting room. Usually it would pop up and say that somebody's trying to join. You guys all found the link. Fine, I put it in 2 channels.
Yeah.
I changed the link to this, so maybe she's using the old one. So let me just see if she has the right link.
She might have it saved in her diary, like the old one. Like I just copy pasted the link originally into my diary as like a repeat, you know?
Ben Burns personal. Yeah, she's definitely on the wrong link because this is a different Zoom account. Might be the old link. Technical difficulties. Anyway, I met with Morgan last week before she took off to Vegas. I was like, I want to come to Vegas too. She's
So
like,
good. I have 3 clients in Vegas. I don't know why my ad obviously like hit Vegas, but it just did. And 3 girls signed up from there. And I was like, damn, girls in Vegas are a vibe. Like I love them.
yeah. She's like, oh, where's the old one? I literally just sent it to her. Anyway. Well, there's Danielle. So yeah, I'm going to do like I think a low ticket community, like $125 a month, something like real cheap, but like a no-brainer offer. I'm just going to put all kinds of awesome stuff in there. That's my evil scheme for the next little while.
So
And then if people like it, obviously they can do one-on-one, but that's my plan. All right, we have people joining now. Guess everyone's on the old link. What's up, Danielle? We have iPhone in here. Must be Vanessa.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
so it seems like people are having marketing issues, but if you guys have sales questions specifically, we can talk about that. I could try to help you with your marketing.
I have a sales question. Oh my gosh, the video, I just have to say, your YouTube video on top 3 objections and how to prevent and overcome them is great. I definitely have to go back, but suggest that to anyone
Oh
else.
yeah, I just uploaded that last night. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay. But the question I have is, and maybe I just need to watch that video again because that answers a lot, but I'm
Hey, you're here
struggling with
now.
like closing people on the call itself. Like I've been doing this basically like, oh, well, you know, fast action price. If you sign up, you know, within 48 hours, you get $1,000 off. But then by the time they have 48 hours to think about it, they've already talked themselves out of it. And then, so I'm like, okay, this is not really
Yeah.
working.
I say if you make a decision on this call.
So they get $1,000 off if you sign up on the call, right?
Yeah,
But then
exactly. And then they had to put a
like,
deposit down. If they're like, well, can I think about it? I was like, listen, I'll give you 24 hours. Give yourself time to think about it, but I require a minimum deposit of like $500. And it's refundable. If you don't want to do it, no problem. I'll send it back to you. But this is just like as a way of you committing that this is actually something that you want. And it's like, we're going to start moving you towards the right direction. And then in the meantime, I'll come up with a game plan for you so that when we do meet, we'll just like get to work right away. But then if you change your mind,
yeah.
no hard feelings. But if you're not willing to put down at least a $500 deposit, like it just shows me that like this probably isn't for you. Yeah, I'll drop the link.
And then you also have to do like, my only concern there is like, gosh, now I'm like dropping my program price to $3,500. I was selling it like at the peak at 4,500. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be dropping it, or I'm not sure. But anyway, but then I have to do a follow-up call. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is so much work for freaking $3,000. It doesn't even feel like that much. But also,
yeah, so yeah, okay. So like if I were you, I would just say, listen, the program is 6K, or if you break it up over 3 or 4 months, 3 months, if it's three, yeah. So if it's 3 month program, it's 6K split up over 3 months, or if you prepay in advance, it's 4,500. any questions on how that works? And they go, well, I mean, I don't have 4,500, but typically what they'll say is like, okay, well, I want to save the money, so I'll do the 4,500. But if typically when I did that before, if people are like, well, I wanted to do the pay in full, but I don't have it all up front, and I say, well, like basically what we can do is they'll get you in for half of the pay in full, so like 25 or whatever, and then we'll keep that discount for the first 30 days, right? So if you can pay the rest by the end of day 30, you get to keep the pay in full discount. And it's not really like you have to decide today. It's just like you can prepay in advance.
Yeah, I'm just wondering though, I'm also getting objections with just like the $3,000. Like, how am I don't know.
Well, then it's like a question of like,
yeah,
is it worth it? So it's like, okay, $3,000, right? We just had this conversation, Emma. So it's like, I like to get them to justify to me why investing in this area is important. And then if they give me objections, they're like, okay, is it more the fact that like you don't have $3,000, or is it that you don't see the value in spending $3,000 to fix your relationships? And if they're like, oh, if they're like, yeah, I don't see the value in that. Well, it's like, well, if you had this, are like, really? Like, I mean, if you snapped your fingers and you had like the perfect relationship and you guys got married and you had everything you wanted, would that be worth $3,000? Typically they'll go, yeah, okay. So with that said, do you believe that this can get you there? Because that's the real thing. If they really trusted that this would 100% work and it was worth it to them, why wouldn't they do it? Unless they just didn't have the money. In that case, it's it's not an objection, it's a logistical problem. Like we can break it up, but if you don't believe that it's worth it for you and you don't believe that this will work, then like, what are we even talking about? So if you think about it, there's the only objection is that they just don't trust you. Oh yeah, I gotta share that link.
Yeah.
So there should be an easier way to share this. Oh, there it is. There it is, Emma. Let's drop it in Zoom.
Ben,
Morgan, yeah.
do you say that on the call? Like,
Oh yeah,
that just like flat out, like, is it that you don't value it, or is that
100%. I'll say that.
like, okay.
Yeah, because it's funny. I saw your question in Slack about like having a backbone on calls. And I went and made a video on that on Instagram, like how to have a backbone in sales, and it took off. I was like, oh, that was good. That was good language. But apparently, it's a real thing. So yeah, you just got to get right to the point, right? Okay, so is it more the fact that is it just the fact that I would just be like, this level with me, is it the fact that it's out of your budget or that you don't have the money, or is it the fact that you don't see the value and you don't want to do the program? And like, if they don't see the value, it's actually easy. It's actually probably easier if they don't have the money. I was like, okay, well, like, would it be worth, if all you did was invest 3K and it fixed this area of your life, would it be worth it? Yes. Okay, well then, do you believe that this will work for you? Yes, I do. Well, why though? Well, because of this and this and this. Okay, so if you believe it'll work and it would be worth it to you, like, let's do it. Like, it's still more money than it's just like, oh, might say yes, let's do it, or they'll go to the next objection, which is like, maybe it is a money thing. Well, okay, if we could figure out a plan that would work for you, like, what would that look like? Okay, well, if we did that, would you move forward today? Well, I still want to think about it. Okay, well, like, what would you need to think about? Well, I mean, now's just not a good time. I'm really busy. Well, like, when will be the good time? In a month. What's going to change in a month? Well, I mean, I don't know. Nothing, I guess. All right, let's do it. Like, that's typically how it goes. It's just like a few questions away from closing these people.
Okay.
Wait, and how do you get them to close on the call? That's going back to my, like, I find, yeah, if
They
they
give
don't,
people the option of like, I'll give you 48 hours to think about
Yeah.
it. Like, they're going to take that option every time.
But then I've had a lot of women are just always like, oh, well, I need more time. I don't like to be rushed. I don't like to be pressured. And then
Yeah.
they always will say, they've always said like they want to think about it. And I don't know, I've gotten that even without the
I'd be like,
pressure.
not a problem that you want to think about it. I mean, I'm curious, like, first of all, like, do you feel like thinking about it aside, do you feel like this program can actually get you the results that you want? Yes or no? Yes. Well, what makes you say that? Well, this and that. Okay, cool. And like, I guess when you go to think about it, what's coming up for you that makes you want to do that? And they might say, oh, that's just the way I make decisions, or it's like a big investment, or all these things. This is why I like to get a lot of this out before the price drop. Right? Like, okay, like you know, basically the close I came up with is like, if I brought you on, like from the very beginning of the call, I'm framing the whole call, like the whole point of this call is to see, I only take people on that I'm 100% confident that they're going to be a success story. Right. So I'm going to ask you some questions about your challenges and your goals and your mindset and all this stuff. And if I feel like I can help you, we can go into that. And if not, I'll try to point you in the best direction. And then you go through the whole discovery and you're like, listen, based on our conversation, this is definitely something I can help with. The fact that you said this, and this. Now the question is, do you want to figure this out on your own, or do you want help with this? I want help. Okay, cool. Do you want me to explain how the program works? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, step 1, step 2, step 3, go through it. And it's like, any questions on that? No. Okay, cool. Where do you want to go from here? I'm like, well, I mean, like, how much is it? Yeah, we'll get there. I'm curious. If I brought you on, would you be coachable and would you be committed to show up and do everything that I asked you to do? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. And I generally recommend that you put in at least X to Y hours per week. Can you commit to that? Yes, I can. Okay, cool. Now, do you believe that this will work for you? And then if they go, yeah, if I feel any sense, any like hesitation there, rather than saying like scale 1 to 10, like where would you be at? I would say, well, is there any reason you feel like this wouldn't work for you? And that kind of gets right to the point. And they'll think about it, like, oh, I mean, I guess not. Or they're like, well, what about this? So let's bring up some concern that maybe this wasn't there. They didn't have clarity on. And you answer it. They're like, what about now? They're like, oh yeah, now that I can see that it's working. Okay, cool. And then I would just go into the price justification, right? So like, I'll be honest, like this isn't like a $200 program. Like the reason why I charge what I do is so that 1, I know I get people results, but 2, I don't want to work with 8 billion people. So I charge a lot so that I can keep things more personal one-on-one. You get more custom access to me and all this stuff. So for you to go invest money into this problem, to solve this problem in your life, what would make it worth it to you? Why would you do it? And then I make them tell me, well, it depends on what the price is. No. Like, what would it actually, it's not the right answer. It's like, well, if I got a relationship or if I got in this shape and I was able to feel this way again, that'd be so worth it to me. And then I'd be like, okay, cool. Well, the only thing we haven't really discussed is like the next steps, investment and stuff. Do you want to go for that now? And they'll go, yeah, okay, cool. And then I'd be like, so the way it works is, I would just consider testing this. So the program, it's a 3-month program and it's $6K split up over 3 months. Or if you want to prepay in advance, it's just $4,500. Any questions on how that works? And then they're like, and then you just stop talking. You wait for them to like ask you a next question. But I like asking those questions because it's like, they're like pretty heavy commitment questions. Like they're like, yeah, I'm definitely coachable. I'm definitely committed. I definitely have the time to do this. Now is the right time. I definitely see this working for me. It's definitely worth it for me to invest. And then it's really hard for me to go, you know what, I gotta go think about it. Like it's really hard.
I'm gonna need the recording on this one because
yeah,
basically
it's really hard. It's really freaking hard for someone to like just like ignore everything they just said.
But that was just so poetic the way you put it. Also, like just this is why I love these calls with you. I swear on my life, you're like the best energy to be around. Just the sentence, like at the beginning, if you say to someone like, I only take on people who I 100% believe I can see results, I'm like,
exactly.
Damn,
And then you reassure them.
activated.
You reassure them at the end, like, listen, there's some people that I just can't help. It's not a money thing. It's just like they just don't have the right mindset, or their problems are not like my solution is not a match for their problems or whatever. But based on what you said, like the fact that this is happening, you want this, but this is happening. Like I eat these problems for breakfast. Like this is exactly what I help with. So you're in good hands. From here, it's up to you though. Do you want to go figure this out yourself, or do you want some help? Yeah, I want some help. Okay, cool. I can walk you through the program from A to Z, or you just let me know, like, where do you want to go from here? And I kind of like, I'm getting them to commit, but I'm also pulling back. Well, okay, like I go through all this stuff and I'm like slowing down. It's like, okay, well, like you sell me, like you basically sell me why this is worth it for you.
so wild. Like, honestly, I feel like sales is just like men who are really good at picking up girls and they just put it into like making money, you know? Like, I'm like, damn, that's the panty dropper sentence. Like, no girl would ever say no to like, I only go out with girls who are 100. Like, woo, love
Yeah,
that.
I mean, that's where I learned it from.
But it's so good. Okay. Sorry. Amazing. Thank you, Ben.
I think the
Yes.
energy that you set up at the beginning of
It's so huge.
like you are the one that's deciding if they are fit for this program. And
Yeah, because if
I've
they're
kind of
coming on,
got
what's your price? It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like,
yeah,
that's
so
why I posted in the sales chat. I was like, you guys should do some marketing around like a client that had the money, but you turn them down because they just weren't a fit. It's because of their mindset, or there wasn't alignment or something like that.
actually I have that. She
What was-
she ended
Yeah.
up saying no to me, but I was like not gonna be working with her because her mindset was just she clashed with me completely.
Right.
She absolutely had the funds to do this. I mean, she was about to get like a tummy tuck and like a boob job. So like, girlfriend, you've got the money. So don't tell me you don't have $4,800, okay?
Yeah.
But it was
That's the
like her,
next marketing piece. Hey, before you go and get a boob job, you might want to consider fixing this. It's a lot cheaper and it's the real problem. Is not that your boobs aren't big enough. It's
what do you coach on, Danielle?
I help women parse through and like get their toxic behaviors turned around so that they can actually have a proper relationship instead of feeling like, independent boss lady. Like
yeah, that's going to be an interesting one because like you got to get the girl to admit that they're the problem, which is like a tough one.
They usually do. Honestly, the people that come to me, they're just like, I'm the problem, it's me. Like they're very Taylor Swift about it. And I'm
Yeah,
like, yes,
that's
this is what
good.
we need. I need to make sure that you know these things because I'm not here to convince them to do what it is. Like they
Yeah.
need to already know that's my avatar. Like that's not my
Yeah,
job.
that's how I approach sales. It's like I'm going to ask you questions until I'm convinced on you. Right? Like I ask them questions until I figure out one, that they have a problem we can solve, and I feel really strong about that because I really understand the process and like what they need. And two, like the problem is big enough for them to justify. Like I feel like ethical about charging them whatever I charge, and they have that information, right? So it's like it's just about asking them these simple questions.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like I haven't necessarily been like drilling down on that enough. Like the fact that you're saying, what would make this worth it for you? That
Yeah.
is something I'm missing in my script. And I don't know if it's something that's in Morgan's script. I'm using a different one.
It's not, no. It's something I just came up with. Like I just was like, let me just ask these questions because I used to sell this way. Like a year ago, I was selling for Les Brown. He's like a celebrity guy. He's like a famous public speaker. And he had two programs I was selling for. One was a 3K, like learn how to be a speaker, and the other one was a 10K, write a book with Les Brown. And I would be closing these 10K deals in like 20 minutes. And I was like, well, like I would get them to basically sell me like why they felt ready to be super famous and be this published author, or like why they want to be a speaker, and like and that way of selling like worked really well. But then like I I don't know, I switched offers, and then they kind of wanted me to sell their way, and I was like, I guess I'll go through their script and shit, and I got away from that method. But I was like, the last time, like the last time I was doing really, really well in sales, I was just doing it this way. I was like, I'm going to go back to this.
Okay.
And the like for dating, I was like, I don't really have a script that I follow, but really I just think of like the different areas that I know they have pain in for guys. It's like, well, tell me about your last date. Give me a play. How did that work? And it's like, tell me about your last relationship. Why did that fail? And like, tell me about like this, and tell me about like these certain areas that are like really painful. And if you ask it, it's like, you don't have to generate pain. The pain's already there. It's just like any memories like have emotions attached to them. That's why we remember stuff. So if you ask about painful memories, like they're going to feel pain, and you don't have to like twist the knife like just a little bit. Like, well, this pattern seems like it keeps happening. They're like, yeah. Well, like how much longer do you want this to go on in your life? I don't. Like, I want this to be over now. Okay, cool. And I don't ask like, well, what's going to happen if it doesn't? Like, it's not even necessary.
Okay.
Did you say you had a recording of one of these calls?
I do. It's just audio, so I'm probably going to
Or could you share it by chance?
Yeah, I just gotta go download it. So I gotta figure out how to get Fathom to record my Google Meets calls. I'm sure there's a way, I just don't use Fathom. But yeah, this guy was like thanking me for closing him, the first guy. He was like, dude, thank you so much. This was awesome. He was
I've
so
had so
pumped.
many people that like thank me for reaching out, like in the DMs, and then they'll get on the call and then it's just, it just completely falls through and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm wondering if it's my skill
It's like
set.
it's
or if
definitely
it's theirs.
something we're like saying or not saying, which is like causing that. If it feels too scripted, like I listen to the girl, like, so this dating program is run by this girl named Elsa, and I listen to her calls, and she's like, she doesn't follow a script. She just does like Chris Voss stuff from like the book Never Split the Difference, which is like mirroring and like labeling, and this
Yeah.
is like very simple
Good
stuff.
book.
But and her pitch is like very like basic too, but people were just buying it like 80%. So I was like, what is she doing? Is it because she's the owner of the company? But like she was just having like genuine conversations with these guys, and like they really felt understood. And it's like, well, when someone feels understood, their guards come down, like they're in comfort with you now, and they start opening up. They can trust you, and you can ask them about these deeper conversations, and they'll go deeper. Like, yeah, fuck, it really sucks, but I'm so lonely, or something like that. And if you're like, well, going through the script, it's very like much like robotic, and it's easy to turn people off. And so like once someone lowers their guard because they feel like you really understand, they really listen, you're asking insightful questions, not just like stupid sales questions, that's when they're like they're opening themselves up to be closed.
Okay.
Ask them what, like, I think I get a little scripty when I go into like, oh, and then, you know, like, well, ideally, where would you like to be 6 months to a year from now? Which
Yeah, like
does,
what's the end goal here? It's a simple question.
but I think I do it in a very like robotic kind of way. So like maybe, or, but that's probably good to get them to see where like the desired goal is. That, do you do that?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, well, like what's the end goal here, man? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have like 5 girlfriends? Do you want to like just be, I don't know, like what do you want? But
Okay.
if it comes up, it comes up, or sometimes I'll just ask, because that is one of the areas where it's like it's important to ask a bit of future facing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's more of just like a practice thing, because I feel like I am pretty natural on the call, but then I have to like go back to the script at some point. I have it like side by side, so it's not like super noticeable that I'm looking at and glancing at it. But I feel like there's a certain part in the script where I'm using where I like outline like my pillars and like all the different pieces of my pillars. And I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily need to do that. Am I trying to create like some
No.
sort of security with them? Like, I don't
You
know.
just have to like so with this offer, what I tried to like figure out first, like what was the girl's philosophy around dating and like about what getting guys success. And then from that, I took what she was what's in her program, and I just wrote out my own script. I was like, okay, well, I was going to sell myself. These are the main points. This is how I think about this. This is how I think about this. This is how I think about this. And when I'm hearing these problems come up that I know this thing solves, I'm just like, well, the first thing that you said is this. Well, the reason why this is happening is because this and this and this, and I just that's
Okay.
basically how I don't have like a rehearsed script necessarily. I'm just kind of like teaching them. I'm just showing them this is your core problem, which is causing these symptoms, and here's how we fix it. And they're like, oh wow, like this is crazy. Anyway, what's up, Brian? You're muted.
Okay. You said this before a couple times with some things like, how do I, if I was gonna go buy a car and I went to a lot for like a Jaguar, expensive car, I know how much those cost generally. Like I know what I'm getting
Yeah.
into, right?
Yep.
How do I do that with my offer, like upfront? So then when they come in, they like know like this is probably gonna be about that much.
Yeah. Well, didn't Sean make a video about how he's like not cheap, like he's expensive?
Yeah.
Right? Just content, that's a
Okay.
simple one. Your application, if you have one, like your marketing, if you send them like a demo video or something like that. Also like ask them pretty early on, hey, how much money have you set aside to get your health and fitness dialed in, right? Like if there's say like $50, you're like, okay, cool. The reason why I asked is just to see how I can make the best plan for you. So there's like, there's like a slow way to get ripped and there's like a fast way. And so the fast way is like you invest in a good gym membership, healthy food, supplements, trainer. If you have $50, I would suggest you go watch some free stuff and like, I don't know, like go for a walk or something, but I can't really help you. Like, get some money and then like I can, if you really want to solve this, we can talk about that. But if you just have nothing to invest, it's like there's not much I can do for you. But it's a good question. It's I would just say it's like a mix of things. Like number one, with your ad, your follower ad, like having it in there, like the qualifier, the financial qualifier piece. And then with this dating offer, basically they have a DM setter who sends them, books the call, but makes them watch a demo video, which talks about the program and all this stuff. But in that video, it's like, hey, if you're not even making six figures, like this isn't for you. This is for guys that are like already successful financially, but like they just don't have this part of their life figured out. And so, and then they kind of like price anchor the program. It was like way higher, but they say we have like this special scholarship that if you apply for, you can save like up over 50% or something like that. So people are like, okay, it's enough of a hook to get them on the call. And then basically my close is like, well, listen, the typical like Elsa, she's charged off of upwards of 100K for one-on-one coaching for like NBA players and celebrities, which is true. And this program is typically 23K, but she's given me permission where if I feel like someone's a good fit, like we don't want just to be like, CEOs and stuff in here. We want to like help average guys too. So for that reason, if I feel like you're a good fit, she's giving me permission to give you what we call like the chooser scholarship, where instead of paying 23K, if you make a decision today on this call, instead of 23K, it's 10K split up over 3 months. Or if you prepay in advance, it's just 8. Any questions on how that works? You're like,
Okay,
yeah.
so their demo video kind of calls out the fact that these people have
Yeah.
to be financially qualified.
Yeah. It's like, hey, this is not for you if you're like living in your car. Right.
On the demo video, I'd like to see it. If you fill out like a fake application, I'd like to see.
Let me see.
Can we just like funnel hack them really quick?
Yeah. No, I have it.
For intake form.
Somewhere.
In our group has a great intake form that I've copied the language of financial qualification in it.
In the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
She has a fitness offer and it says right in one of her question qualifications, like my program is in the low 4 figures, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to be able to qualify, that? So.
Okay. Yeah. There's so many things I have like saved that I need to go back and look at. So that might be in there.
Yeah.
I think Ashley,
I was gonna say, was it like, yeah.
Where is it? Found it. I was gonna say I used to have it like in a doc somewhere. Wait. Here, let me hold on. I think, yeah, I just dropped it in the Zoom chat there if you guys want to check that out. I think it disqualifies a bit too hard because people cancel before the calls. If they see that, they're like 23K, like that's way too much. But I mean, the right people get on and they're like, yeah, I don't care. Like, so it depends.
So this is a video they get right before booking, right after
like the DM setter books them and says, hey, make sure you watch this video. There's like a homework thing. It's like a keyword that you want to send at the end.
Sorry.
Yeah, I started. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, so that's basically that.
My name is Elsa Moore, founder.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And homework, do you recommend that, like a homework, at least a demo video, but what's kind of homework?
Well, there's a keyword that they have to send us at the end, and they send us some takeaways and stuff. So it's like, make sure you DM me your takeaways and like the keyword before your call, or we'll cancel it.
Oh, okay, that's good to make sure that they watched it before the call.
Yeah.
I do find it's helpful to make sure they've watched some long form content before the call.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's-
it's like a combination between like a demo video and like a DSL. It kind of explain, you can watch it, it explains the program and her stuff and things like that.
That's what I was thinking about doing. And like, this is where like my education background comes in. I was a teacher for like 7 years. And so I'm like, I want to make sure that they watch this thing. So I want to put like little Easter eggs in it so that they watch the whole thing. Be like, hey, at like minute 10, make sure you write this down and you DM it to me. And minute 20, you get something else.
Yeah,
And
that's
very
why
end-
Morgan's like assessment thing is good, because he's like, make sure you send me your score. And you just
Yeah.
tell them, I'm gonna send you this assessment video. Make sure you add up your score and send it to me before I call, so I know which part to dive into.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can do those things really easy. You can just like draw a triangle and have like your three pillars, and it's like 2 or 3 things per each pillar. And just do it like red, yellow, like traffic light.
Yeah.
Red, yellow, green, or like 1 through 10. If it's like quantifiable, it's easier to do it numbers. If it's red, yellow, green, it's just like greens are things that are your strengths, yellows are like could be improved, it's okay, could be better, and reds are like it's an obvious problem. So just like send me a screenshot of your reds, or like whatever, however you decide to do it.
Yeah.
Or what's your score? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you use numbers, like I use numbers 1 through 5 on each thing, and then
Yeah.
in your sales call, you can be like, oh shit, you're like a 3 out of 20. That's not good, some leverage there.
Yeah.
I feel like that can help them convince themselves as well that they need help because they see their
Yeah.
score so low and they're like, oh shit, I guess this person does know more than me and I should be getting into some type of assistance.
Yeah. It's like, oh wow, there's more stuff here than I thought. Right.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's a big part of it. And be like, the other thing is like it makes your pitch really simple. So it's like, okay, cool. So these are your reds, or these are the low scores. So what we're going to do with your program is we're going to fix this, and then this, and then this. And then if we still have time, maybe we'll fix this one. Right. We want to like bring up the low, we want to like improve your weaknesses rather than like build on your strengths. So that's how you're going to see results. And so it's like, it sounds custom. It's like, oh wow, that's really cool.
Right.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff
Okay.
on this call.
I have to hop because I have a call in like 10 minutes or 15
All
minutes.
right.
So wish me luck.
Good luck. Get them. You don't need
Thank
luck.
you.
So it seems like just looking at this woman, Elsa, like to not even really have a website, because I was having a website with my program and all, like, kind of a long form sales page, but it seems like it's better just to go straight to like, here's the application.
Yeah, I mean, her social media is her website, basically.
Yeah.
All the content's on there. I mean, in the demo video, you'd want to have some like case studies and stuff interspersed throughout it, like just proof that your stuff works. You could also do Google Doc. I sold a lot with Google Docs.
Oh, okay. A Google Doc intake form.
Google Doc sales letter, basically. I did one recently for our CSM thing. That worked. My buddy's like, nobody's going to read a Google Doc. But then I did a poll on Twitter. It's like, would you rather, if you're going to buy something, would you rather watch a video sales letter, do a sales call, or would you rather read a Google Doc? Like 50% of people say Google Doc. And then it was, I can tell you exactly what it was. Basically, it was exactly what you'd expect, which was, where is it? Yeah, 50% said Google Doc, 31% said video sales letter, 19% said sales call. So yeah. Yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys my Google Doc. I have a few of them. One of them didn't have the price in it, and I got them to book a call, which is the CSM thing. Although I could have had the price because it was only $1,500. And then I had this other one. This is one I made like 3 or 4 years ago. So like the whole is like the get leverage program, so I called it. And so the whole idea was helping people who were doing stuff one-to-one make a group program. It's like, hey, here's what I'm doing, here's the outcome. You know, why leverage? Well, why don't you get more money for your time? I'm aiming to get you at least 10 to 15K extra per month through one of these vehicles. The goal is to launch this high leverage offer with no ads, no cold calls, no funnels, no audience, no complicated tech. The only tool you'll need is your phone. We're going to solve the 3 biggest problems to stop people from launching and growing a leverage offer: offer and delivery confusion, no leads or audience, and an awkward sales process. So I just went on Canva and I made this. I was like, the first things first here at the bottom is like, first problem we're going to solve is at the bottom, offer and delivery confusion. What's the opposite of offer and delivery confusion? Offer and delivery clarity, right? And then here's the 3 things that go into that: how to package and price it, how to position it, how to create it, and, you know, a bunch of stuff about it. If you have no leads or audience, you need daily hot leads. So you need to grow your audience, you need to indoctrinate them, and then you need to create demand, which is basically make offers. Warm them up, get leads on top of the funnel, warm them up, and then get them on a call. Right. And then if you have an awkward sales process, then the opposite is, it's not really the opposite, but like conversational conversions. So this is stuff about like selling through DMs. Executive influence was the old name I had for my sales process. And then like how to follow up with people that say no. And hey, this is how you add, you know, 5-figure income as quickly as possible. A bunch of other stuff. Here's how it works. I'll be doing it live. So it's like, it's a case study group because I'm just doing it live with you. And then the total cost is $2,500 USD. Message me if you need to break it up. We'll make sure you have 5 to 10 hours a week dedicated to this over the next couple of months. But it's like, hey, the total cost is this. But for right now, I just need to know if you can join us. I'll get you all the details. I'd love to work with you. Just reply, hit reply and say I'm in, and I'll take it from there. Talk soon. Hey, PS, anytime you invest money with a coach, there's a risk, right? What if it doesn't work? What if it's not good? If he's, as he said, what if Ben is a beardy liar? So let's look at the best and worst case scenarios. Best case, you get this and this and this. Worst case, it just doesn't work. Maybe your few exceeding size not for you, or the training material is not quite right, or maybe you jump too soon, or you decide that my East Coast Canadian accent's getting annoying. In which case, I'll buy it back from you at full price. You get to keep all the materials recovered. You'll be smarter and still have the skill sets, but you won't have to pay for it all. And I'll throw in an extra $20 so you can buy yourself a beer on me. Worst case, you get beer money. So there's no risk to give it a go and get started, is there? So where do you think we should go from here? If you'd like to work together, message me back saying I'm in. I'll get you a link to set up your username and password. And that was it. And then people just bought from that. So it was cool.
You sent that as an email or just gave out the Google Doc?
Yeah. I had an email list of like a few hundred people back at the time. So I think it was Google Doc and also like a social media post. It was like sending out an email. Hey, I'm looking for 5 people who are looking to do the X, Y, and Z. If you have X, Y, Z, you know, qualifier, reply back with the thing leverage, and I'll send you the details. And then I would email them that, and then I'm in. Cool. Boom. Here's the payment link. Or like, hey, can we split it up? Yeah, let's do like 3 payments of whatever it was, $750 or something like that, or whatever it was. I can't remember. But you don't have to have the price in there. You can just have all your stuff and your philosophy and your sale and your whole pitch. Say, hey, if you want to see how to customize this to you, book a call. Oh, Carly's joining. I won't let her in. Oh no. Oh, there she is. I have a friend who's doing about 100K per month, just only does Google Docs. What's up, Carly?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Small group today, but covering some good stuff. I see you lighten up the wins channel. That was good.
Yeah.
What are you looking to work on? Em says this is the best call ever. Yes, I knew I should have got the haircut. Yes.
I'm
go.
sad I missed it. I don't know. I don't really have anything. I was just here to listen.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys got me as long as you need me. So if you have any other questions on anything, let it rip.
Watch the replay. Okay.
Yeah. So Morgan got me to she's like, Yeah, I was at this mastermind in Marbella, and there's some sales coach guy who's doing 70K per month. He has no employees, and he just works 10 to 15 hours a week. I was like, okay, I'm listening. And all he does is he does 3 YouTube videos a week, just yapping, just long form, unedited. And I was like, well, I can do that. That's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I'm gonna get people in like a little school group, cheap. And then that's my evil scheme.
What is it you said? Can you repeat that? Like long form unedited YouTube, you think is,
Yeah, just talking shit.
yeah.
Talking about stuff.
Now, on YouTube, would you recommend then just being like, hey, and if you want to work to me, here's the link to apply, and just have the application link? And
Yeah. So that's what I did. Like last year I was doing YouTube, and the way I was doing it, I went through this guy's course, and like you got to research the keywords, and you got to like come up with a thumbnail, and got to edit the video, and got to script the damn thing. And by the time I was done, it would take 10 hours of video. I was doing 2 a week, and I was like, this sucks. So I was doing it his way though, and putting the calls to action in there, and like putting in my links. And I stopped doing it around January, and then I was still getting people randomly booking calls in like August and like like September. I was like, where did this call come from? I was like, oh, freaking YouTube. I was like, maybe I should do it again. And then Morgan was like, told me about this other guy who only has 2,000 subscribers, is making 70 grand a month. I was like, time to go back on YouTube.
The other thing I know, like from the mastermind Morgan said was, I think his name's Adam, right? I can't remember his name. Who does the Yap videos.
I think it's Connor, but yeah.
Connor, yeah, there we go. The form that they used wasn't Calendly. He uses, I think it's Typeform. Yeah, because it data captures. So even if someone deletes it, like it gets their information and you can immediately reach out. And that was like how he was also like converting at a higher rate.
Yeah, Typeform.
Yeah.
I know that about Typeform, so that's why I don't like when people have Typeforms. I won't do it. I'm not putting myself in there.
My partner also uses it, but it's so boss. Like you just get all their details immediately, even if they delete.
oh, with Typeform, if they don't.
Yeah. So if they like go all the way to the end of your questionnaire and then they just hit exit, you still have everything that they punched in there, which is like pretty good, pretty sneaky.
It's just like a better way of data capturing. So, because some people like they see it, they're like hooked, and then they write everything in, and then they suddenly have like an inner objection, so they like delete out. But you will still get that information, and you can still then send them a follow-up message or something or a link.
The cool thing too with Typeform is you have like logic in terms of like you have logical paths. And so if you have like 2 programs, let's say one was expensive, one was cheap, and they answer something where it's like, oh, this person's probably unqualified, you could send them to like a different, like another landing page with like a video talking about your low ticket thing. It's like, hey, I don't think this is a best fit for you. It seems like, based on what you said, but they have this thing, which could still help. And then maybe down the road, you can, once you get some results, and we can talk about more one-on-one stuff.
Wow, I didn't know that about Typeform, but it can basically funnel people for your up sale, your normal sale, or your down sale.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even use funnels. They just have a link to their Typeform on their Instagram bio.
Funnel it from your.
Well, you can have like you have this like, if they apply to work with me and they just click your Typeform from Instagram, and then they answer the questions, and it either sends them to like a thank you page, or sends them to like maybe a different page if they're unqualified. Sometimes if they're unqualified or something, it just sends them to the YouTube. That's what I used to do. But
you could do that with Typeform. Is more advanced feature.
Yeah, it's a logical, I forget what they call it, something in logic. There's like logic something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's powerful. Maybe I should do it. You have all these good ideas. Like,
then I think you should definitely do it. You would smash. Like if you just do like 12, I just got 2 of your YouTube videos you sent. If you just did like little 12-minute snippets, just if you talking like you do on these calls, like just like take the recording and funnel people. Side note, I'm like, hands down, it's so valuable. It's like, yeah, it'd be great.
You mean, send like a snippet YouTube video after the Typeform?
No, I was saying like if they're qualified, you send them to like a booking page, and like a thank you page. Hey, thanks for booking. Here's what you need to do next. Watch this quick video, write down your score. You can kind of go through like an assessment or a demo video or something like that. Make sure you watch the whole thing because there's like a keyword at the end that I want you to send me. Or I want to like, I'll ask about your takeaways. If you don't watch it, like we'll just like reschedule the call. But if they are unqualified, if you don't have anything cheaper to sell them, you just send them to your free YouTube page. Say, hey, like, sounds like right now, based on where you're at financially, it couldn't really help, but like, check out this free stuff. It should help you. That way you don't have to talk to broke people.
For the people who are qualified, you'll have them say, please watch, would you call it a free training or please watch, what would you call the thing that they need to watch? Please watch this.
The homework video. Hey, this is a homework video. If you don't watch this before our next call, the next call is not going to make sense. So make sure you block off like a couple minutes here to watch this. That's what I would do.
Is there any way to, do you tell them like watching this is required or like
It's required. Yeah, it's a homework video that's required for this next call. It's your first test. If you can't sit down and watch this, you're never going to make it.
Okay, watching this is required and like have them do some kind of homework or assessment in the video.
Yeah. And then just make sure that you put the stuff in there. Like if you're getting like trust objections, you want to put social proof in there. If you're getting like financial objections, you want to put some disqualifiers in there, some price anchoring, maybe.
Thank you so much, Ben. I'm gonna head out. I would love to get a recording though of one of your sales calls. That would be so great. If you end up doing
Yeah. I just have to go on Go High Level and download it. I can do that right now. Because I was going to just upload it and just do a call review. I haven't listened to it yet. I haven't done any call reviews for this offer. Let me just actually go do that right now while it's top of mind. What was this guy's name? Oh, this is the other guy that closed, but this. So I did 2 calls with this guy, so I'll just maybe do the second call. Where is it? Where is it? Oh no, don't tell me I did this on freaking Google Meets. No. Oh wait, I got it. I think I got it. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll download these. Yes. All right, downloading them now. All right, so there's that one, and then there's this. I guess I'll download both of them. I did a 2 call close with this guy because he ran out of time and he was a talker. Dating offer. Yay. Anyone else have any other questions?
That one. I just got off a call with a guy who like wouldn't really admit to having a problem. Like he's working the hours he wants to work, and he's making the money he wants to make, and he's like just looking for like little helpful tips, basically, is what he said. And
Tips
like,
for what?
I don't know, like business.
Why does he want to start a business if everything's going so well?
He already has a business and it's going fine. And he's like I just couldn't figure out a problem.
Well, people don't really book calls unless they have a problem. That's one of my core beliefs. If you're going to show up to a call, like there is a problem. So it's like, okay, it's going fine, but like, where do you want it to be? Right. So it might not be so much of a problem, but the problem could be, I'm not making money, but the problem could also be like, I am making money. So there's like 2 avatars, right? There's like subpar to par, and then there's good to great. So it's like, okay, cool. You do, it sounds like everything's going fairly well for you. Like, what would you change if you could? Well, I like to be at 30K per month. I'm at like 5K per month. Okay, so there's a bit of a gap there. Gotcha. Well, like, what's the main challenge getting to 30K right now? And like, how long has that been going on for? And what have you been trying to do to fix it? And is that working? Is it working well for you? No, could you be doing it better? Okay, like, well, what made you reach out now? Like, why not just keep doing what you're doing? Well, okay. And like, do you feel like if you just kept doing things the way you're doing them now, you get to 30K eventually? Like, how long would it take you? So there is a problem. We're just like, just sometimes it's not dressed as a problem. It's just as like it's like an unrealized desire.
Yeah, it was like I asked some of those questions. Like he said he wanted to increase his income by like 25%. Like it was just really
What does that
small
even-
problems.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like the other part is like stretching that. Well, what's 25% going to do for you? You know, like why only 25%? Like what are you making now? And like, okay, so you want, you know, it's just sounds like surface level.
Is that because like he was never gonna buy? Like,
Well, if he
like
shows
should
up
I
to
have
the
just got off
call,
the call? Or
I mean, it depends. Like I would do like a takeaway in the sense of like if he's like, yeah, everything's going like really well, and he's just not admitted to anything. So, well, dude, like it sounds like you've got it all figured out. Like what made you book the call? Oh, I just want some tips. Okay, well, like what's the outcome of these tips that you're looking to accomplish? An extra 25% in income. Like, how much would that be? I want a number. Oh, like an extra like 20K. Okay, so you're making like 100K now? Yeah, well, what's the extra 25% gonna do for you? What would that change? Well, then I could like do this and that. Okay, it's like that. Is that like the first goal, or is that like is that like the end goal, or is that just like the first milestone? No, where would you really want to be? Oh, dude, I would love to be doing like 200K per year or something rather than 100. Oh, okay. And like ultimately, like what would change if you were making that kind of money? Like what would you spend the money on? Oh, like I'd like to do this and this and this and this. Oh, gotcha. And so like, do you feel like I probably asked them about like their current process? Well, like what are you currently doing to make 200K? How long has that been a goal to make 200K? What made you do it that way? Like these types of questions. Do you
Mhm.
feel like if you just kept doing this way that you get there eventually, or do you feel like you need to make a couple changes? You need to make a couple changes. Okay. And like, why do you feel like you're not getting there as fast as you'd like? What do you feel like is missing? Like, well, I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's like the number one thing. It's like about leads. Like if somebody's coming up, if somebody's taking the time to jump on a call, there is a problem, right? There always is. And they might not admit it, but it's sometimes they're like, well, what's the biggest problem right now? And some people are also towards more motivated where they're like, I don't really have a problem. So like, what are you trying to accomplish then? Oh, I just want this and this. Okay, well, tell me more about that.
Yeah, I think I need to dig into more like the potential, the dream.
Yeah, that's what creates the gap, right? And you got to stretch the gap. Like 25% extra income is like, that's not exciting to me. Like if I had somebody say, hey, I just want to make an extra 25% income. Like, why? What for? Like you missed this, but my philosophy is like they have to convince me to make them an offer, you know? And if I'm like, dude, that honestly, like, can I be real with you? Like that's a boring goal. Like I don't even like I would not feel excited about making extra 25% income. Like, who cares? Work at a job and make an extra 20, get a raise. Like, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
Go
helpful.
read the book.
Just
Go read the book 2x to 10x or whatever it's called by Ben Hardy. I'm telling you, go read that book and come back to me. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you got to start thinking a bit bigger here. And so those questions of like, well, is that like the first milestone or is that like the end goal? Is that all you want to make an extra 25% for the rest of your business career? How long do you plan on being in the business? No, I want to make more. How much more? Like specifically, and you kind of help them build out their vision because sometimes it's like they just haven't really thought of it. It's just like a nice number.
Yeah.
And you want to make it concrete. Well, what would you do with the money? Like specifically, like what would you do? Like let them tell you, oh, I'd like to build a house and then I'd like to have like a charity and build orphanages in Africa. And I like to like take my kids to Hawaii and like, okay.
Mhm.
You're like, I can see it now. You know, like I want to be able to close my eyes and kind of see both like their problem and like also what they want. Like paint the picture for me. If you were like a screenwriter making a movie, like let's make that movie right now. Because that's what they're buying. Like, they're not buying, they sell futures, not features, right? They're selling their end outcome that they want.
I closed my last close was like asking him what kind of dog he would buy if he had the freedom and the money. And then he just went
Yeah.
on about how much he loves boxers for a while. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, what I used to do for similar offers, it's like the easiest one is if somebody wants to buy a house. I'd be like, cool, like tell me about that. What kind of house do you want? How big? Oh, like da, da, da. How much would that house cost? Like what location? How much would it cost though? Oh, like 600,000. Okay, and like what do you need for a down payment for that? 20%? Yeah, I think so. 20. Okay, so 20% of 600 is what? 120K? Yeah, how far off are you from that? I got like 80. Okay, gotcha. So you're almost there. Cool. So I just financially qualified this guy by asking what his goals, and it's like still under the radar. I didn't ask him. You don't make it weird. So you're, oh, how far off are we? Or if they're like, I want to go on a trip to Hawaii, or I want to buy like a dog. Well, why don't you just do that now? Oh, I don't have the money. How much are they? Oh, it's like 10K. Well, how far off are you? Oh, I got like 5. Oh, okay. So you're just looking just to kind of like speed things up a bit. Yeah. How like when do you want to buy that dog? Like when do you want to go to Hawaii? Oh, I'd love to go there within 4 months. Okay, so you need to find a way to make an extra 5K in 4 months. Yeah. Well, that's easy. That's only like XYZ sales. Well, like what's stopping you from doing that now? Oh, like I just don't really have like the leads or something like that. Or I'm selling like too low ticket, or I mean it's not good at sales. Oh, okay. What else? Oh, gotcha, cool. All right, well, I'm based on what we spoke about, this is definitely something I can help you with. So the fact that you just need leads and you need a higher price thing and you need to close a bit more. If you want, I can walk you through how that works, or you let me know where you want to go from here. And you kind of like go through the process, and you know, you kind of, the nice thing about this like ROI offers is like you can just like do the math for them. So if we just got an extra 10 leads a month, and you close an extra 2 for 2K, that's how much? That's like an extra 4K per month, or whatever it is. You know, you do the math. It's like, okay, so if we just got you an extra 5K per month, that's like 60K per year. Do you believe that this process would get you there? Yeah, I do. Okay, would it be worth it for you to like actually commit to something, like commit to a coaching program, and like you actually like show up and be coachable? Like, would you do that? Yeah, if I knew it would work. Okay, so you do you believe it will work? Yes. Well, why though? Well, because this and this and this. Okay. Well, I generally recommend that this, you know, to get these types of results, it's going to take 5 hours a week. Can you commit to that? Yep. Okay. Awesome. So the investment to help you make an extra 60K per year, you know, 5K per month, is just $6,000 or something like that, you know? And you could also probably go the opposite. Well, is it fair to say if you don't learn these skills, you're losing out 60K a year? Like, yeah, I guess so. Do you want to fix that?
Like a
Yes.
big hesitation with this guy was he was really set on doing low ticket and like didn't want to raise his prices.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
think
see the
that's
math
maybe
of
sort
them.
of where we
Yeah.
like misaligned. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, well, if you teach high ticket, if that comes up in the call, I only want to sell low ticket. Like you have to stop right there, because it's not going to be successful in your program, because it's our own mindset. So you have to address that right then and there. Well, why do you want to sell low ticket? Right? There's some weird belief pattern there. Because this is the thing. It's like what you teach in your program, it's based off your philosophy, right? So it's like for you to go and tell Morgan, hey, I don't think you should do ads. You should only do organic. I only want to do organic. Well, she's been instantly bang off like 40 reasons why that's stupid. You know, and it's like, oh yeah, you got me. You're right. And so, I mean, if your whole thing is high ticket, if you go through it and you're like, well, why, like, why do you want to do low ticket? Do you want to work with like 1 million people, or do you just want to work with like a few? Well, like probably just a few. Okay, then do you want to be like valued and actually like people like actually get results, or do you want them to just like pay you money and just disappear and nothing really happens? No, I want them to get results. Okay, do you think that they would get better results if they invested more or less? Well, I guess they'd be more invested. Right? Yeah, they would. Right. So more. Okay. And do you think it'd be easier to sell like 10 people a month or like 1,000? Well, probably like 10, I guess. You guess? Yeah, 10. Okay. All right. Well, like You tell me, like, should you sell high ticket or low ticket? I think I should sell high. Yeah, okay, I agree. Well, do you want to know how to sell these high ticket programs? Yeah, okay, cool. Well, that's what my program does.
Mhm.
You want help with that, or you want to figure that out yourself?
Yeah, I think that's where I lost him. I needed
Yeah.
to
Or
dig
you
into
just
that belief.
completely challenge them. It's like, listen, if you're set on, if you're like completely set on low ticket, like, I don't think I can help. You know, like, this is not the program to sell. Like, all my clients that do these bigger numbers, they do high ticket. So, unless you're open to changing, like, let's just like end the call here. You can also do it that way, which is more like direct. It's like, it's an unsell, it's like a takeaway. And you go,
I
no,
like
I
it,
am
yeah.
open to it. I am open to it. Right? Like, cause it's like a do not pass go thing, because it's part
Yeah.
of your program. Like, if they have these weird beliefs, like, they won't, even if you close them, they wouldn't be successful. Right? So we have to address that like then and there.
Hmm. Yeah, it was a weird call. He like offered to pay me for the discovery call.
Yeah, take it. Fuck it. Yeah, sure. Take me. Yeah. Yeah. What's your, yeah, I'll send you the invoice.
Uh,
And then I'll credit the invoice towards your the cost of you joining. That'd be a good system.
yeah.
You could do a paid consultation call with me for $500 for the hour. And then it's just a sales call. And then you just pitch them. It's like, listen, you know how you pay me that $500? If you make a decision today, I'll credit that towards the total investment of 5K. So it's just 4,500 or something. I don't know.
Hmm. Cool. Okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
you can
helpful.
definitely get those people, because, like, let's be honest, like, people have stupid ideas all the time. That's why they're hiring you. Like, they're not successful.
Yeah.
That's why they're on the call. It's not that they have everything figured out. So, like, oh, let me just jump on a call with this random person that I know from Instagram. They're not going to do that.
Hmm.
They're there because something's not working. And it's like, well, it's either something that you're thinking or something that you're doing.
It's both.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's like, listen,
Hmm.
if I showed you exactly if I showed you exactly what to post, what to say, how to position your offer, all this stuff, do you think you'd be successful? And they're like, well, I mean, I don't know. Okay, so it's not just the tactics and techniques that's possibly the roadblock here. It sounds like there's something a bit deeper in your beliefs, right? If you kind of shifted these beliefs and you thought like someone who's successful, and you had the tactics and skills and knew what to say, do you think you'd be successful then? You can make all this money? And they're like, I mean, maybe. Do you feel like you deserve it, that type of money? Like, I don't know. Okay, so there might be an identity issue here, right? We're only as successful as our identity. Like, our identity is, like Tony Robbins says, the strongest force of human nature is to act congruently with how we see ourselves. So if you learn all this stuff, but your identity says, I'm a loser, I'm not worthy of making this type of money, do you think you'd be successful? No. Okay, so we got a few things to fix here, don't we? Yeah. Do you want to go and try to figure this out yourself, or do you want some help? Oh, I want some help.
Cool. Yeah. I like that. I just got to get a little more aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds aggressive, but it's not. You're not aggressive towards them. You're aggressive towards their thinking.
Hmm.
That's the key. It's like, I heard this guy say, like, your whole frame for the call, like the way that you mentally prepare for the call, is like, you're not attached to the outcome, but you're attached to doing what's right. And doing what's right is correcting this person's thinking, whether or not, because like their thinking is what's going to lead to the results.
Hmm.
And the way that you do that is being really convicted in your way of thinking, right? So I always say start from like the ground level. So when you're starting a program, some people will go and try to copy other people's programs and their marketing stuff. I say start at the ground level. So like you take two circles, right? One is like your audience, and then the other one is the outcome that they want. And when you put them together, like, if this is what you can deliver, like this is your offer of helping these type of people get this result, then there's a certain amount of principles that you probably picked up over your career, which that these things are, if they just do these things, are going to get results, right? It's like a principle is universally true. That's what makes it principle. And so like all these principles, when you blend them together, it becomes like your philosophy, right? My philosophy of how these types of people get results. It's like your core sales argument. And then your process is based on that philosophy. If you do this, 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 and this, you'll get this result. And then that process is packaged up into a program. And then your messaging, which you put out on social media, comes from that program. And then marketing is just a matter of amplifying that messaging, getting in front of more people. And so, like, ideally, your content marketing is like shifting these beliefs and thoughts beforehand. Like, you're like indoctrinating your philosophy into these people so that when they get on the call, it's really simple. It's like, let's just, they're already like, yeah, it's like, they're already thinking like you and seeing the world the same way as you. It's like, they should buy, like, right. It should just be like, well, do you want some help with this, or do you want to figure it yourself? They're like, yeah, I want some help. Cool. All right, here's the program. How would you like to pay?
Yeah, he was a talker. And then at the end of the call, he was like, just email me the information. Like, I could tell he was gonna say no, but he didn't want to say no to me.
Like, what do you mean email you the information? I don't have any information to email you.
That's what I
Bro.
said, yeah.
Like, what do you want? Like, after the pitch, or did you not pitch?
I hadn't told him the price yet.
And he's like, oh, I gotta jump off. Like, just email it to me. Like,
He was like, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You can send me like your program details, basically. I'm like, I don't have time to do follow-up emails. Like, what do you need to know?
yeah, exactly. That's it. Like, it's either yes or no. Like, I'm fine with either. But
Yeah.
what do you need to know to make a decision? Like, what would be helpful for you to know? Well, what about this and this and this? Oh yeah, it's this, 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 this. Cool. Do you want to do it? Okay. Yeah. Sometimes like that's the easiest way to pitch. Like, okay, well, like, this is exactly something I can help with. Now I could walk you through how the entire process works from A to Z, or you just let me know like what would be relevant for you to know about what I do and how it works so that you can make an educated decision. And then you just throw a bunch of stuff at you and it's like, write it down. Okay, time. Okay, this program is it one-on-one? Is it this? Okay, price, obviously, yeah, Just come up with the whole list. Answer them all. And like just close them. But it's that aggression, it has to come from you knowing like, no, like my way is the right way. And when you say this, I know that this is not going to lead to results, because that's like, I've tried that and it's wrong. I tried low ticket, it just doesn't work. Right. Like, again, it's like there's certain, like, the whole call is frames that I only work with people that I know are going to be success stories. Right. So I'm going to ask you some questions about your challenges, your goals, your thoughts, your beliefs. And if there's alignment there and I can help, I'll talk to you about what my program looks like. And if not, I'll try to point you in another direction. Does that sound good? It sounds good. Yeah.
I like that. I only work with success stories line.
It's true, because you shouldn't try to close every single person, especially if they have weird beliefs.
Yeah.
Again, because if they come, they're like, well, no, I'm going to do low ticket. Like, if they're just thinking that the whole program, obviously they won't get results, and they're like, this didn't work for me. And you're like, well, you try to like adapt it. Like, well, maybe my stuff could work for low ticket, but you're like, no, that's like wrong.
Yeah.
We're on the high ticket train.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that was very helpful. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see some more piffs, some more closes. Like some more. You're in Canada?
Mm-hmm. BC.
Ah, cool. What part?
Like Sunshine Coast.
Okay. Cool. I gotta get out there. My grandmother lives in Vancouver Island. I haven't seen her in a while. She's my last grandparent, so I gotta go soon.
Yeah.
You never know.
Visit her.
Time's always ticking. Yeah. Anyway, let me know.
Yeah, it's my grandma's birthday today. We're going for dinner.
Nice. Sure. Happy birthday.
Cool.
All right. Take care.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Yep. Bye.